Howdy y'all, and thank you for tuning into my video. I'm a young working professional in the IT career field who lives and works in San Antonio, Texas. I'm also a real estate investor, and in September of 2025, I found a property that will be perfect for renovations. I found a contractor that could take this home from its rough condition, which I purchased it in, to its highest and best use. You can watch the video series that will show you what it looks like from the investor standpoint on a week-by-week basis of home renovations. In this video, I'll highlight some of the updates from weeks 11 and 12 to the entire project.
Here we are, back again. This time there has been some pretty good changes. I can put up the changes from last week. I'll put that here. This week's changes are much more noticeable. The things that I can see that have changed, first off, when I stepped in, I noticed this brand new door leading to the garage. As you recall, the previous garage door, it was not fire rated. It had 3 locks, so you had your privacy lock here, you had your regular deadbolt, and then your handle lock. That door is also pretty old. The important thing about that old door versus this door, let's go ahead and go in. The old door jamb was pretty much, it was done for. It was rotted from here pretty much all the way down. While the locks did function, you could lightly kick the door and it would open. I didn't want to highlight it in a previous video because I am not an idiot and I don't want people breaking into my house. You can see there is actually quite a lot of junk out here. There's more junk since last time, which is a good sign. That means more work has been completed. The water heater has yet to be replaced. It will be replaced shortly, as a lot of the electrical work will be done this week. This is the old door I was telling you guys about. It is hideous. I am glad to see this thing go to the dump. I will be happy when this garage is empty because I have some pretty big plans for it. Let's close it off for now. That was one of the major updates. You saw from the last week update, the quick update that's included in this video, that the floors have been completed throughout the entire home. That's a big update. This threshold still needs to be completed, needs to be secured a little bit better than it currently is. Once that's done, I will consider this door completely signed off on. And of course, the door needs to be painted to match the rest of the doors in the home. The doors have not been painted yet, at least I don't think they have. If they have been painted, they're not the correct color, so we'll get them to repaint. We're gonna walk over into what we call the living room. This is off the entryway of the home. The floor is completed. More importantly, there's a new fan. There's still one missing recessed light. That's okay. A lot of the electrical work will be completed this up and coming week. This floor actually really pops in the light. And the major update from last week concerning the floors is the fact that we now have the trim installed. The home is starting to look more and more complete each week.
Before I continue, please consider liking and subscribing so these videos can continue to reach people like you.
This is the second to last week before the home is to be completed, as in there's 1 week coming up, a weekend, and a week after that. Are they going to be on schedule? Maybe, maybe not. If they are, great. If they're not, I'm not super concerned, seeing as how it's holiday time anyways. There's not a whole lot that I can really do from a business standpoint. Yeah, the flooring and the trim looks good. The paint on the walls, it looks good. These guys do good work. There's still a few little touch-ups that could be done, but I'm ultimately satisfied. In case you're wondering, the trim is an extra white color. The doors are supposed to be a gray. I believe it's sealskin gray, so we'll have to make sure they get that painted appropriately. It'll be painted the same on the outside as it is the inside. As we walk along to the dining room, you can see the flooring looks good in here too, and the trim looks good as well. Good enough? Nothing else has really changed in this room. There are still the same 4 recessed lights. You can see 4 of them there. We're gonna move along to the communications closet. I don't know if it's been completed yet, But one of the things I had planned for this communications closet is to have an AC vent installed. Let's see if they've done it yet. Almost lost my camera. They have not done it yet, and that's okay. There is still time, especially since the electrical guy and the HVAC guy will be working next week. We're now about to move into the primary suite. There is a big difference in here, actually quite a few, and you'll probably be able to spot it. See if you can guess it before I tell you. The major updates are the flooring has been completed last week, we know that. The trim has been completed this week, but this is the same that you're going to see throughout many of the other rooms in the house. The ceiling fan is also installed. I don't know if I'm okay with the temperature of the light. Probably going to get something a lot brighter, a lot whiter, but it looks good as it is. We're going to now move into the primary bathroom. There's some things that you're going to notice in here that aren't quite right, and I'm going to get my contractors to fix that. The first thing is the door frame is still not completely right. Let me show you. There is kind of a slant, and that's as a result of the foundation repair, so I understand that. But you can tell that the left side of the frame needs to be brought up probably about an inch or so, and they can fill in the gaps. It doesn't need to look extra pretty, but anything will look better than this, because having part of the light poking out of the bathroom is not ideal. Let's take a look at the bathroom. You can see there's some pretty big changes in here too. Obviously the paint's on the wall, that's not new. The shower's completed, that's not new. They're waiting to install the vanity. That should be this up and coming week or the week after. The mirror, and they're gonna make sure the bathroom is properly vented. I don't see any ventilation in here, so they're gonna have to do that this week as well, which makes sense because the electrician will be on site. Get that done. The things that's changed for this week is the fact that we now have the tub surround completed. The tile is completed. It's the same tile that you see in the shower, the same tile that you see in the other bathroom, and the same tile that you see on the fireplace. From an investor standpoint, I made the decision to just go ahead and get all the tiles the same. People will love it or they will hate it. Either way, it will be a short-term rental as plan A, and plan B is a long-term rental. So hopefully the short-term guests don't mind too much, and the long-term guests will probably just end up picking a different spot if all the factors don't line up for them. The tub hasn't really been cleaned up and made to look good, almost brand new. It hasn't gotten to that point yet. Hopefully they get that done this up and coming week, because I want to see a lot of big changes. I'm overall pleased, but there's still some fine details that need to be updated. You have the same situation going on with this door as you do to the door to the bathroom. This door is just one of the closets for y'all that don't know. See, just an empty closet, painted blue. I like it. But the door itself, while it does align with the jamb, and that's really nice that it does, maybe we need to trim this door down, re-angle the pins, something. Even maybe take the trim up on one side. I don't know if that's the answer. I'm gonna figure something out, because that does not look good. That's very noticeable. Even if I have to trim it myself. It's the same with this door. This is the other closet. There's two closets, a his and hers, or his and his, hers and hers, they and theirs. All the different people, there's two different closets in here, which is kind of nice. If this does end up being a short-term rental as planned, one of these closets will probably hold cleaning supplies, different linens, things of that nature. But that door is going to bother me. I have to get that fixed. That's too noticeable for me. If I were staying in a short-term rental and that's what I saw, I would think the owner did not care at all about the guests. Overall, I like the vibe that the home's giving me though. Just the doors, they're not painted the correct color if they are newly painted. They're clean, but I don't think they painted the doors. I don't think they did. You can kind of see they painted the trim. They painted over the actual hinge connectors. I'll probably end up just replacing these anyways. It wasn't included in the original cost, but I think it's worth it to add a little bit of flair to the property, make it look good. Yeah, that's not painted. If it's painted the wrong color. I'll talk with the contractor. As I go to turn off the light, I tried really hard. The switch is already set to the off position. I'm wondering. Yeah, okay. So switch is set to off. Either this switch is non-functional or it hasn't been connected properly. We'll get the electrician to figure that piece out. We're gonna move along. We're moving along to the laundry room and the kitchen. Some of the major things that's changed in the kitchen is they are prepping for cabinets. You can see they kind of have a layout of where the cabinets are gonna go. They're just protecting the floor. Getting that done hopefully by the end of the week. They still need to switch out this 3-prong connector for a NEMA 1450. Like I said, the electrician will be on site this week, so he can get that accomplished. Really nice electrician, by the way. There is a language barrier, which is kind of what you would expect in old Mexico, but that's okay, we can work through it. Let's look at the laundry room. I really like the flooring. This is looking really good. There won't be much done in here with the exception of a NEMA 1430 still needs to be placed here. The electrician can do that this week. Probably still gonna have him switch these switches around because this one goes to the laundry room and that just doesn't make sense to me. If I have to switch it myself, I will, but I think he could probably accomplish that. Toilet's still gotta go. I don't know what this lock is for because I don't think I purchased it. If I did, that's awesome, but it's just chilling there. So I'll have to ask the contractor about that. This is the eat-in portion of the kitchen where the table would possibly go. In the future, I plan to kind of stray away from that design. The current layout will just be L-shaped for the cabinets. I want to stray away from that and put in a really large island here that goes all the way to here. You can still walk around the island and get outside, but the seating will be on this side. I think it'll make more sense. If I'm gonna do a short-term rental that can increase the capacity that I can have in my home, you gotta have heads in beds and you gotta have seats at the table. I'm gonna move along to the family room, what's connected to the kitchen. Major change in here, you got the fan. The fan is brand new. It's not necessarily the style that I thought it would be, but that is okay. Not many people are gonna be too caught up on what the fan looks like. At least they shouldn't be. Fireplace is gonna end up looking extremely good once everything is done. I kind of think it already blends in with the grayish brown floor, not grayish, grayish brown. And you've got some gray inside of the tiles here. You got some blue. This color blue, I know you can't see it super well on camera, but this color is gonna be very close to what the kitchen cabinets are gonna be. You'll have white on the top and blue on the bottom. Got the fan that's new, you got the trim that's new, you got the flooring, and the flooring all flows pretty much seamlessly throughout the home. As I make my way to the secondary areas of the home, I'll point out a few more things. There is no light in this bathroom, so I apologize that the camera will be a little grainy for you. Still no floor transition. That's an easy problem to solve. The doors back here actually match up a little bit better. There's no gap. If I have to replace the whole doors in the other rooms, I will, but I think we can work with the ones that are already here. Yeah, this is not painted. If it is, there's no reason for the chip to be there. Open it back up. There's a couple other changes. The trim, obviously, I'll keep pointing that out just in case you don't see the whole video, you just see portions of it. There was a piece right here that was kind of the edge of the old shower. I'll see if I can put it up in this video as well. They've taken that away, and because they've taken it away, they now had to patch up the ceiling. They're gonna have to, actually no, the work is already looking pretty good. So after the ceiling has been patched, they're gonna have to go through and texture that and then paint it. I can't wait for there to be lights in here. There might already be one light. Oh, there is a light. I didn't realize I got that one wired up already. Okay, so there is a light in here. The blue really, really pops. Hopefully the home will jive. You guys will have to let me know what you think. Don't roast me too hard in the comments. You can see there is junk. I don't know why the water is still in the tub. Maybe they're still testing it to make sure there's no leaks, excuse me. But this water's been here for quite some time. I don't really know what the purpose is, but I'm not a contractor, so I will let them deal with that. Let's see, yeah. So this whole thing right here used to be part of the shower. That's gonna get textured in soon. Currently, there's an issue. I can't really figure out where I wanna keep the towels for this bathroom. Do I put in a small cabinet here? I think that would make sense. Will guests like that? Maybe, maybe not. For your information, the vanity will be right across from it. If that's enough space to get in and out of the tub, I think it's appropriate. If not, I'll figure something else out. The vanity will be along this wall with the mirror. Over here, there's gonna be a medicine cabinet, but I might switch that out and just say, hey, we're gonna keep the linens above where the toilet is. That might make the most sense, put a cabinet here. I'm open to thoughts on that one. I'm still kind of figuring things out and appreciate people's feedback. I'll turn the light off as I go out. Gonna move from the secondary bathroom to the hallway. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you there's not much that's changed in the hallway other than the trim, so we're not really gonna focus on it. The AC has been serviced. I don't think they've done all the servicing. Like I said, the guy is coming back next week, but these doors and this piece here should also be painted that same seal skin as the other doors in the home once they get them painted. This is one of the other bedrooms. Yeah, this is not painted. I think this is just how it looked before and they kind of cleaned it up because it was in the garage. I think. There's no way that's painted. I'm gonna go, no, that's not painted. Okay, there's still no door stops in any of the rooms. I think I'm just gonna have to purchase that separately and do it myself. But there's a fan in here as well. And if you're thinking these fans are very similar, it's because they are. The colors don't really match on the fan blades. I might see if I can get those painted by the guys. I think that'd be pretty nice. I'm open to thoughts on that too. I like the wood grain, I really do, but it doesn't match the floors. Minor detail, it's something I can fix later on. This closet hasn't been fully built out yet. In one of the other rooms, a closet has been built out, and I'm really satisfied with the way it came out. There's maybe one thing I would change, and I could probably talk my contractor into changing that. There's still these super weird double light switches. I don't like it, but I'm gonna leave it. In case you haven't seen the previous videos, you should go back and watch them because I think these get progressively better. But this light switch at the top is for adults. This one at the bottom is for children. They do the same thing. This makes sense for a short-term rental. Doesn't make sense outside of that application. Maybe it'll make sense if you want your children to be able to turn their own lights on and off. That's up to individual parents. Moving on to one of the other rooms. I actually think they did paint over this part of the door. I don't know. I'm gonna talk with them. The fact that I don't know means I probably need to get clarification on it. I love the fact that it doesn't smell like wet dog in these rooms anymore. That is amazing to me. There it is. New fan. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. This room is the one I was telling you guys that has the closet doors installed. I really like these new modern sliding doors. The only thing I would possibly change is getting rid of a small piece of the trim at the bottom so that the door closes all the way. Currently, it doesn't go all the way to the wall. Minor detail. If it were my house that I lived in, I would want to see that fixed. I'm gonna see what the feasibility is for the crew to get that fixed. As you can see, this closet is complete. Guests will be able to use this closet for storing luggage or whatever they would like. Close that back on. The more and more I think about that door being flush with the wall, I don't think it matters as much simply because this track down here goes all the way to the trim. Might be too late in the project to specify. I don't want the door to come off the track if someone were to push it all the way to the wall. That feels like a liability. And the work's already done. It's not something I'm super passionate about. Sliding closet doors are not really a thing that I see in a lot of modern homes. This one has it, and I think it's fine the way it is, especially for the application. There's still some spots on the wall that could use some clearing up, and that's okay. Catch this little guy out here. The backyard still needs quite a lot of improvement. There's still that grading work that needs to be done. That is not in the scope of work. That's something I'm gonna have to do separately. I might end up doing some of it myself, but that feels like a lot of dirt that I need to get put out here. Probably just gonna pay somebody to do it. That makes the most sense. I'm gonna move along to our absolute last room we're gonna check out. This is the room that had the smiley face on the bare foundation. I'm glad that got covered up. I didn't see a point for it, but I am very satisfied with the way this looks overall. Still, got the new fan like every room in the home does. The trim is done, the floor is done. The fan still doesn't quite jive with the floor. Maybe I can tie it in depending on the furniture. I don't know if I'm willing to try that hard. There's really been no changes in this closet. I'm just showing it for the sake of showing it in case you haven't seen the other videos. Now, what is this? Closet 1, bedroom 2. This note is basically how they matched up the doors with where they belong when they took the doors off. Yeah, maybe they did just paint right over that in some spots and others they didn't. It's really hard to tell. Now I found a door that doesn't quite close the way it should. That's something I'll have to get addressed. I think it's because they just put on the new doorknobs. Yeah. So really all that needs to happen here is just kind of reaming this out. That shouldn't be too hard to accomplish. I might just do that myself so I can fit it the way I want to. In the meantime, just gonna kind of give it a nice little shove and call it good. That is basically it for this week's updates. There's been a lot in the last 2 weeks. I expect for there to be a lot more in the up and coming weeks. I expect this home to be fully completed sooner rather than later. And my contractor is hopefully looking to get more business from me because I'm definitely looking to get more from him. There are still a few things that I need to accomplish today. One of those things is accounting. Making sure my business accounting is where it should be. I do not want to have a nightmare with the IRS. One of the things that helps me with that is a banking and accounting platform all in one. You guys have heard me talk about it before. It is absolutely a fantastic accounting platform and banking platform. It's called Baselane. If you haven't heard of it, you should definitely go check it out. The other thing I need to do for the day, absolutely, is I've got another home to walk with my contractor. That's coming up in a few hours. So I got to get back to my house, splice up these videos, make it look as decent as I can for you guys as an amateur, and pretty much call it a day on this side of the business. Have a good one. Peace.